George, I think we should listen.
Go very well.
Never give and I'll never be this. Sing songs, us sings this. Never give and I'll never be this. Sing songs, us sings this. Never give and I'll never be this. Sing songs, us sings this. Never give and I'll never be this. Sing songs, us sings this.
602.
Never give and I'll never be this. Sing songs, us sings this. Never give and I'll never be this. Sing songs, us sings this. Never give and I'll never be this. Sing songs, us sings this. Never give and I'll never be this. Sing songs, us sings this.
Surge of deep satisfaction.
602, 602, 602, 602 is the light. 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 602 is the light.
And I'll never be this. Sing songs, us sings this. Never give and I'll never be this. Sing songs, us sings this. Us and never give us this. Us and never give us and never give us this. Us.
Well, I'm not going to be here very long. Some people seem concerned, where's the ogre kind of deal. I'm here. I made a decision a few days ago, and I'm sticking with it. And the simple fact is that tough decisions are best stuck to. I'm not going to go off into that thing. I come from a different school of thought when it comes to, I hate to even use the word recovery. When it comes to the decisions we make, when it comes to decisions we make about the chemicals we're going to put in our bodies, the movies we're going to watch, the associations that we're going to have, all of these things, I am as libertarian as a person could possibly be. I really don't go for anyone telling anyone else how they can go about killing themselves, destroying their lives, bettering themselves, making their lives better. I never have been one that cottoned to that. I believe we have one life. It is our life, and it is completely our decision what we do with that life. It is no one's business. It's not your government's business. It's not your neighbor's business. It's not your priest or your preacher's business. It's up to you what you do with your life. It's up to you how you live. So I've made a few choices here recently that, I mean, they're tough choices. It was a hard decision. But as I said when I started this, when we make promises to ourselves, those are the most important promises to keep. I'm not a political pundit. I'm a philosopher. I'm not a scientist or a mathematician. I'm a psychologist. I'm not going to find the cure for cancer. In fact, my mission isn't to find the cure or the answer to any question. My mission in life is to pursue those answers, is to question constantly myself and others. to always make sure that I am wondering if I am doing my best to see, am I being the person that I want to be? A couple things have struck me over the last few days. I want to talk to you about them. I'll be labeled a racist, but that's okay. I've been labeled everything on this platform. I have some of the most staunch haters that a human being could ever hope for. I disincentivize the likes and dislikes live right now. They're turned off. You can't see who likes and who dislikes. I figure when I'm live, I'm just going to disincentivize it. Why? I would like it if those people that hate me could let go of the hate. The hate you direct toward myself, the hate I would direct toward you. Hatred in general destroys the person with that emotion. How you doing, Lady Fairfax? Long time no see. It's good to see you. So I do believe in my heart of hearts. I don't believe it. I know it. It's a fundamental truth that to let go of hate, to embrace acceptance when possible. Now, folks, I don't mean acceptance of things that go against what you believe. Oh, I don't know, Lady Fairfax. I'm just on a little ramble here. I'm definitely not going to call it any names, but yes, I mean, I've and much because of things that I've chosen to do, I have attracted a certain kind of hate. I don't even know if that's bad. This is I want to talk about two things today, so let me get to it. Number one, because we're on this topic, what is it that creates the rise of these channels such as the late great Kumite, the Ralph Report? I haven't really watched it. I hate to throw him in this batch of folks, but Worski, he's always wanting people to come on his channel and fight. I think that might be why the frog there left. He wanted to have good debates. He wanted to have discussions, but the idea of fight, call each other names, he just doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that cottons to that kind of thing. And I've mentioned it before. I'm no huge fan of, I can't remember his name, Jean-Pierre, whatever, the JP, I think is what everyone called him. What is it inside of us? Why is it that human beings find a need to live a hateful, vicarious life? Because when I observe these channels, when I observe this phenomenon, when I observe people, going to these places where it's the 2 minutes hate, for lack of a better name to put on it, these folks are living vicariously. They may not even know the person that's there or whoever it is that's being dogpiled on, but someone is going to be low dog. Someone is going to be dogpiled, and that's all that matters. In the end, insults are hurled. People make assumptions about their family, their lineage, about their mindset, about their motivations. People ascribe motivation to folks, all in the name of vicariously hating. They don't, not even aware, in a lot of instances, why the hate exists, if it's necessary, if it's fruitful anyway. And let me be clear, hate is a necessary emotion. It is a good emotion, but vicarious hate, this type of hate, is not good, folks. And I'm going to speak as a human to you. I'm fallible too. I have many flaws, many problems. So I'm speaking to you as a human, and the way that I'd even deliver this will be flawed. But I'm asking you to open your mind and to consider this. Are we cowards when we venture onto these vicarious hate fields, when we go here simply to watch someone be degraded? Are we now the new Rome? How long will it be? When I'm watching this Nicholas Sandman today, and I'm watching him and his fellow classmates being tormented and basically being publicly tortured. I can't call anything else, folks. It is public torture when you are being harassed on all sides by people. He smiles, and then the vicarious hate piles on. What is this hate? Is it hatred for the mother, hatred for the father? Is it penis envy? And hold on. For those of you that don't know what that means, it doesn't mean you envy somebody's bigger penis or whatever. Penis envy is when a girl realizes, usually around the age of 6, that her father, this is all Freudian, I'm just quoting it, where her father created her incomplete in the place where her penis should be. She has a vagina. And so you have penis envy. That's been widely misunderstood what that term even means. Is that what it is? Is it daddy issues for the girls and penis envy? Is it the Oedipus complex for the boys and hatred of their father? Is it because when we're young, we have no power and we must obey the rules, and the rules seem arbitrary and wrong? Therefore, when we grow up, we're incapable of shifting out of that juvenile mindset, that we're locked in this state of arrested development, and there's no way through the power of our own thought process that we could rise above this unbelievable, this hideous cesspool of hatred. I vow to you folks, my beloved crew, my faithful followers, we band of brothers, and that includes you sisters. Let's not fall into hate. If you ever see me spitting venom and vitriol and hatred toward anyone, you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be listening to me. You should be calling me out. We should call out everyone that would propagate and promote hatred. Now, I'm not speaking as a lefty. I made it very clear, and I should have continued to say vicarious hate. Because when you have a hate inside of you that is justified, when you've been oppressed, when you're a Christian in Syria and they have beheaded your family members, they've killed your father because he loved Christ and would not say anything about Allah, Akbar, whatever. And they chop his head off. That hatred is necessary. That hatred combined with fear will help you flee. It'll help you get away. It'll also help you destroy those that would destroy you. National hatred for things, as much as I hate to say it, but a common enemy, folks, is very necessary in society. We now have no common enemy. There is no true Hannibal et Portus right now. There is no barbarian at the gate, if you will, at present moment. Therefore, gender inequality, the wage gap, racism, white privilege, the patriarchy, all of these fake monsters rear their ugly head, all so very willing to accept your vicarious hate as fuel for their fire. There is no need in a society for that kind of hatred, but there is a need for a common enemy. Every time I observe my beloved American society righteously point out what would be a proper common enemy, such as Islam, what they do is they hector, the vicarious haters, they hector and malign. They push false narratives until we vote Muslims in to our Congress that wear the oppressive sign of woman hatred, the headscarf, the hijab, this sign that you, woman, will never be equal to a man in any way. They wear it in Congress. This Ilian Imam, or whatever her name is, I get too confused, mixed up their names. I'm not too good with Muslim names because they are my enemy. I hate them, not vicariously. I hate them. I am Jewish. They hate me. They kill my people. They cause problems and then try to reverse the blame onto the blameless. They call themselves a minority in a place where you have 10 million Jews against 500 million slavering, backward cavemen. What if we need to hate folks, which we do, let's not hate because of our penis envy, ladies. Let's not hate because of our Oedipus complex men, because we want our mothers to love us as they loved our fathers. Let's find love one for another. Let's find a way to confront dad and say, Dad, I'm your daughter. I know that you, as many, and it's not all the time, just bear with me. I know you, as many fathers, desired a son, and you accepted me as a reasonable second, and that you created me in this way, incomplete in my own eyes. Help me to be complete. And in the old days, a father would help his daughter. We had father-daughter dances. We had so many mechanisms to bring a father and a daughter closer together in a positive way. Now, what do we have? Now we have a loving father like Donald Trump being accused of incest with his daughter because he says she's beautiful. I know he's said it. I mean, I believe the one quote was, if she wasn't my daughter, I'd probably be dating her. Hey, I say things like that, okay? I've been guilty of saying things like that. Guilty? Why? Because it's not too well thought out. It is a man's idea of flattery. And man's idea of flattery is not always flattering. It's not always flattering. But in this case, is it not the intention, folks? Is it not only the intention and nothing else? Don't take away my love for children because some people on the internet want to say that I look like a pedophile. I'm not a pedophile. But if children want to come and sit on my lap and pull my beard and run their snot runnels on my shirt and wipe their nose, blow their nose off, all these things, they're snotty little kids. I know I point that out, but I don't like snot. But somehow or another, when the snotty little kids are around, I don't care because I love children. I think of Jesus, and I think of him saying, suffer the little children, let them come to me when he was tired and ready to take a break. No. We always have to have time for the children. We have to address them in a non-creepy way, in a loving way. We have to pull them into the fold and teach them what it means to go through adolescence. We need to let them be adolescent. I don't want to get way off track, but this Desmond is amazing. Talk about vicarious hate. There is no larger hate-filled group. There's no group with more hate in them than this LGBTQ. They hate their own kind. These gays, for Republicans, I mean, they're not allowed to march in gay pride parades. They're stifled. They're shut down by their own quote unquote community. It's a very, very sad thing when we have people that say they promote only love, they want only love. It's sad to see it turned around. And yeah, you know what, MC, I'm going to address this. Rage is much different than hate. Remember, what I'm talking about here is vicarious hate. It's this thing that we need. We need hate, but it's misdirected. A lot of us that engage in that are cowards. We're unable to direct our own rage in the right places, and it comes out this way. I'm going to leave off on that. Of course, I'm so sorry. I've missed 2 Omega Men streams. I even contacted Memes yesterday, and whenever I woke up yesterday, it was somewhere around 10:30 at night. Again, I just quit cold turkey, quit at least 12 beers a day, and a lot of times much more. 12 beers and a couple bottles of wine was usually what I drank. And even though I very much want to not drink right at the moment, and even though I wanted to quit then, I didn't take away the fact that I physically had a dependence on the substance. And that seemed like I had back-to-back bugs. It just weakened my system. And I mean, my voice was going. There was a couple days I couldn't even speak to my wife. I mean, it was just gone. So, and I tell you, folks, I can't tell you how much it means to me that folks actually noticed I was gone. Sometimes it's easy to be the woe is me guy, right? And be like, nobody really cares. And then the fact of the matter is, if only one person cares, and that one person is you, about you, hey, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Jensen Quinn, if only you love you, it's all that matters. Some people say, well, you're a sociopath if you only love. No, come on. There's a lot of us go through life and we don't get a lot of love. We struggle for the little bit of love that we get, and we don't get a lot of that. So I have to address the 800-pound gorilla in the room. And of course, at the moment, that is this unfortunate governor of Virginia. I mean, I've seen a lot of things in my life, but this is right up there with as crazy as it gets. I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to just start this way. He should resign. But I'm going to tell you why at the end here. I don't think he should resign for the same reason everyone else is saying. So here we go. This is from the AP by Alan Sunderman, put out yesterday. Blackface photo stirs calls for Virginia governor to resign. It's Ralph Northam. Oh, my goodness. So, Richmond, Virginia. Governor Ralph Northam clung to office Sunday amid nearly unanimous calls from his own party to resign over a racist photo in his 1984 medical school yearbook, going silent after a bizarre 24 hours in which he first admitted he was in the picture and then denied it. The Democrat's stunning about face at a weekend news conference where he also acknowledged putting on blackface for a dance contest decades ago and appeared to briefly entertain the notion of doing the Michael Jackson moonwalk. I watched the whole thing he did. You should see it. He was fitting to, but his old lady pulled him back. She reined him in right at just right in time, man. Oh, okay. Doing the it only seemed to make things worse. It was what I would call a cringy interview. The chairwoman of the Congressional Black Caucus declared that Northam, quote, still does not understand the seriousness of his actions, close quote. The photo shows someone in blackface and another person in a Ku Klux Klan hood and robe. Quote, I think he's been completely dishonest and disingenuous, end quote. Representative Karen Bass, Democrat of California, said on NBC's Meet the Press, quote, he knew this picture was there and he could have come clean and talked to African Americans that he's so close to decades ago, end quote. Northam worshipped at his home church, the predominantly black First Baptist in Capeville, but otherwise kept out of sight on Sunday as calls intensified for him to step down. All right, I got a couple things here for you, folks. By the way, if you can hear the music and it's not too intrusive, just let me know. Just maybe press a 1 if you can hear the music, but it's not too intrusive. Well, there's a couple of things here I got. Number one, I'm going to start with what would probably be the most controversial. Tom Out Tom, good to see you, my brother. Why don't you have a bone? Here's have a bone. Everybody gets a bone here. We are all moderators. We moderate ourselves. No one will kick anyone out of this chat. Feel free to post any link. Say anything. So number one, I think he should resign because he is a pediatric neurosurgeon that said if a child is born alive and has an ingrown toenail or Down syndrome or, is a little jaundice and the mother thinks that, oh, this will really be a financial burden and it's hard on my mind, that they should then have a discussion on whether or not they should kill the born, living human child. I'm not even sorry, folks. There is no way on God's beloved earth that would ever be a good thing. He should resign not only as governor. I mean, that's one thing, but he should also never be a pediatrician neurosurgeon again, a pediatric neurosurgeon again, ever. It's insane. The thought that his Hippocratic oath says first to do no harm. Listen, if there's a child, me and Mrs. Ogre were talking about it. We opted not to have children. We took steps not to have children, and we don't have any children. But if we did, I said, Mrs. Ogre, what would we have done if they could have looked in your womb and seen that we would have, this maybe 20 years ago, that we would have had a baby with Down syndrome? She said, well, we would have a 20-year-old man here with Down syndrome, then wouldn't we? I said, yes, we would. And it lightened my heart to hear that from my wife, that there's no way my wife would be so evil, so self-centered, so self-serving that she would say two things. One, my womb, my body, my baby in your womb that you agreed to have put there. as a great possibility that it would be put there at the very least. So don't give me that shit. My body, my womb. That makes me so ill. Tell you a little secret, folks. Before I married Mrs. Ogre, when I was very young, I had a girlfriend, and I got her pregnant. And she went to the Epoch Center in Orlando, Florida. And when she came out, when she went in, she was 2. When she came out, she was 1. And I paid $350 for that. And I never wanted it. I feel now like I was helpless. I didn't have a choice. The only choice I had was to make her pay it, and she didn't have the money. And they would have done it anyway. They would just like put it on her, I don't know what they did, put it on her credit or found someone to pay it. Man, that still bums me out, folks. It really does. And it's not fair to all of the men out there that want the child. Oh, you're just the Handmaid's Tale. Bullshit. The Handmaid's Tale, as far as I know, they were impregnated against their will. I'm talking about a woman that went out, willingly had sex, knowing she could become pregnant. Forget about it. I feel the same way about the father. The father can't shirk responsibility. We have DNA testing now. You make a child, you're responsible for it. Now, do I believe in putting men in jail for not paying child support? Absolutely not. It's in a lot of ways it is. I mean, how do you expect a man to ever pay, to ever get caught up if he's in the who's cow? So that's number one. I believe that Northam should step down as governor and as a pediatric neurosurgeon because he believes that children, it's okay to murder children if you have a discussion with the mother after the birth of the child. Okay. I'm not even talking about abortion anymore. Yeah, it's an abortion, but it's an after birth abortion. Come on, folks. It's so when I see that woman getting pinned down and she's like, oh, when she, finally Blinken was like, yeah, you're going to force me to say it. But yes, my bill would allow you to kill the child while the woman was on the delivery table dilating. You've seen the baby's head, but terminate the child. Oh. The black population wouldn't be 14%. They say 14%, but let's remember, as far as black males go, you got to think about this when you consider crime statistics too, because they always figure it by 14%, but black males in the United States are not 14%. They're not even 7% because there's more black females than black men. Something to the effect of 6.5% committing over half the crimes. Going off task. So let me get back to this Northam thing. It made me think of it because the blackface, I don't care about the blackface. I wouldn't have cared if he put on blackface yesterday with 7 of his colleagues and did a proper minstrel show. I would laugh. I think it's funny. Do I think it's funny because it's degrading? But no, I think it's funny because us stiff white boys once in a while like to act like we got a little rhythm, like we got a little soul, and it shows that there's something to aspire to be and that we can't be it. We can only try to make this mirror of it that is such a distorted image that it's not even the real thing. No, but any of you that remember, and now I'm going to forget his name. This Northern gentleman was running against a Republican, and they put out a campaign ad that showed this ambiguous redneck truck with, of course, a Confederate flag flying. I think it had an American flag too. I don't remember if it had a MAGA license plate. It seems like it did, but it's chasing down these ethnic children in Virginia. Of course, they had one of each. They had a Mexican, they had a Muslim, they had one of each, and a black kid, and they're chasing them down. He's going to run them over, and Northam continuously called his opponent a racist. Racist. You're a racist. You hypocrite. It is now time for you to step down, sir. It's now time for you to realize I have made a very large mistake. I've weaponized this idea. I've weaponized this thing. And now I suffer for it. All right, I appreciate the ones. I want y'all to remember something. The old sayings are the best sayings, and I heard one years and years ago that I believe to this day: live by the sword, you die by the sword. Northern, you get elected by the race baiting. You die by the race baiting. And isn't it about time he just gave up the ghost and went away? And And I tell you what, folks, be good to your friends, be good to your family members, be good to your loved ones. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology, especially when that thing your friend, family member, or loved one has done seems to be so huge, you'll never be able to forget about it. Because constant viewers, at a time you think not, your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your life, and everything you know will depart from you.
With me, with us, with me, oh, with me, such fun. Jump with me, with us, with me, jump, oh, with me, me. Great big hit, play what you're on. Great big hit, play music and good vibes. Great big hit, play what you're on. Great big hit, play music each day, each day. Jump with me, with us, with me, oh, with me, such fun. With me, one with us, with me, jump, oh, with me. Play what you're on. Play music each day is a cup. It's just a play what you're on. Just a play music each day. Useful and